Don't you love that feeling when the bike's all prepped and packed, ready for a multi-day adventure? And you can't help wonder what type of adventures are going to be. Is it going to be smooth sailing? Or is it going to be something a little bit more adventuresome? Whoa! Well, spoiler alert, my 7-day ride in the Victorian High Country was more of the latter. We all met in the Blue Mountains. The plan for day one was to ride over 500 kilometres to Brindapella National Park on dirt wherever possible.
Good evening. Sydney has been warned torrential rain is on the way tomorrow and over the weekend.
Yes, we left on that weekend. The biggest weather event in over 10 years. And by the time we met in Katoomba, most of the team were more like drowned rats. We fueled up, checked the weather maps and made our first route diversion for the day. That'll get us out of the weather this way.
Down here, I guess.
We're warming up, we're drying up. The rain soon stopped, but we had our first puncture. The rest of the ride was largely rain-free until we approached Canberra, where it started to rain. So we scrapped camping and opted for a hotel for night one. Our plan for day two was another long ride. Canberra to Omeo, again primarily on dirt. The rain stopped and we had some great dirt riding as we entered Bondo State Park. But the track just started getting greasier and greasier. Then we hit the hill. Whoa! This hill was one of those hills that were just total mud, zero traction, and we all battled to get our bikes up it. It took us a while, but we realised there was no way we were going to be able to go on. We'd heard that the Broken Cart Fire Trail was extremely muddy when wet, and we just got a taste of it. So we pulled out the map, found a way out, and plotted a route through Tumut to end up at Tallangatta for the night. But the next challenge was turning the bikes around and getting down the hill. And it sounds simple, but two of the bikes totally jammed up with mud and we had to dig them out. I think it's fair to say that this was one of our low points of the trip.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go.
And what's interesting about adventure riding, just as you can get low one moment, the next moment the rain stops, the temperature warms up, we hit some great twisty roads, and all of a sudden everyone was having a ball again. We found an awesome camping spot at Tallangatta on the water and had a great night's camping.
No, we ran the show. Let's get loud, come on, lose control.
Day 3 was amazing. We had a great ride from Tallangatta to Mount Hotham, where we'd arranged to meet with Brendan, aka Nerb1, and Mark, who were going to show us a couple of amazing trails. We got to the start of Blue Rag and I was excited because I knew that Blue Rag was one of the iconic rides in Victorian High Country. This was the perfect opportunity to pull out the Skydio and see what it could do. And it didn't disappoint. The view from the Skydio was incredible, and it really showcased these amazing trails in all their glory. So riding a trail like Blue Rag is challenging for sure, but the big bikes handled it pretty well. Mark gave us a great demonstration on how to perfectly ride the steep, loose hills. And Robert gave us a demonstration on how not to. Whoa! Luckily, the only damage was a bruised ego. This was an incredible initiation into Victorian High Country, and now we're going to ride down to Dargo on a track called Basel Knob.
Good work.
Yeah, seated.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go up this way.
No.
Really is.
See that side, isn't it?
Right.
Now there's good.
That's
Or further right.
That's it.
Yeah, as right as you can get, Mark.
Nice. Oh.
Day 3 was an absolutely incredible day and a wonderful introduction to Victoria High Country.
There you go, we all made it.
Day 4, we got some rain, and rather than not ride, a few of us decided to go out and just have a bit of fun on some of the steeper tracks. So we went out to Billy Goat Bluff and had a bit of a play on that. We had no expectations of getting anywhere near the top, but we just wanted to ride it and see what it was like on the big bikes. And it was pretty tricky in the greasy, wet conditions, and even trickier coming down. Then Jeff and Shippen talked me into doing a track called Conway, and I didn't have the GoPro rolling, but you can see the result. We all made it to one particular hill, and then all three of us crashed out, and it was carnage. Again, the ride down was just as challenging. You right? For day 5, the plan was to ride up through Omeo and head up to the high plains and either camp there or then head on to McKillop's Bridge for the night. But we met these guys touring from Tassie who seemed like great blokes, and they reckoned we should ride Davy's Plain Track and ford the Murray River at Tomgrogan.
That's great.
I got this feeling like it's starting now, starting now. I feel adventurous with you. And there is nothing that can hold us back, hold us back. We can do what we want to do. 'Cause we got all the time in the world. For better or worse, we should stay together.
Just north of Omeo, I'd heard about this road called Parish Boundary Lane from another adventure rider, and I was very keen to check it out. Immediately, we knew we were in for something special. The colours and the shapes of the hills were just quite amazing. So we put the drone up, and I think it really captures this ride beautifully. It felt like we were riding into a painting. It's the only way I can describe it. And the highlight of this particular ride occurred when we crested over a hill. And when we looked down, it took us a little while to work out what it was we're looking at. But then we realized it was a flock of sheep. After that, we started taking a couple of tracks up into the high country, and the tracks were fantastic. The riding was fun, the scenery was just stunning. But then we started getting, as we got higher, we got into the cloud, and it became foggy and wet. And we thought twice about camping up here on the high plains. We decided to actually head down into McKillop's Bridge. And once we were down from the cloud, it was sunny, it was warm, it was beautiful, and we just really enjoyed the riding. We stopped for some essential supplies and then headed down to the McKillop's Bridge campsite. Down at McKillop's Bridge, we ran into Volta, another adventure rider, who decided to come and join our camp, and we had a great night by the Snowy River. Day 6, we were heading from McKillop's to Jindabyne. First, we decided to explore the bridge and take a few photos. It is a beautiful bridge over an incredible river. Then it was pretty much dirt all the way to Jindabyne. We explored some side tracks on the way and found some lovely lookouts. Then, as we were heading towards Barry's Way, it's quite windy, narrow dirt road, and this is where we had our drama of the day. Jeff was in front of me, and you can see some of these corners are blind corners. Well, I didn't have my GoPro rolling, but Jeff's dash cam caught what happened next. He wasn't going overly fast, but there wasn't a lot of time to stop. And Jeff just laid the bike down, missed the full drive by an inch. But he was lucky because had he veered to the right, there's no fence and it was a sheer drop. It was a pretty steep cliff off to our right-hand side. The riding was beautiful, the views were amazing. We just had a great time on that track to Jindabyne. Day 7 was our last day and we're going to ride from Jindabyne back to Sydney. And again, it was dirt pretty much all the way to Marulan. We got into some amazing fog and it was just a really cool experience riding through this beautiful light and beautiful countryside. So again, I got the drone out and it captured that last day's ride beautifully. As I reflect back on the week, it really was an incredible ride in every sense. We had the ups and downs. We left during torrential rain. We saw some amazing scenery. We rode some amazing tracks. We met some incredible people. And as a group, we all just bonded really well. I couldn't ask for a better week. It was fantastic. And one thing I know for sure, I'll be planning another trip to the High Country soon. We only just scratched the surface.